Hi everyone, today we are making rainbow custard soap. So it's like a rainbow in some custard. And firstly, what we're going to do, I've just taken a piece of my rose jam cake because most of the colours are in here because I want some shreds in there. So on the smaller grate side, you know, you can grate big chunks or you can grate smaller. On the smaller side, I'm just going to grate up this bar. I might do two just to make sure I've got all that I need. I don't want loads of shreds in there, but we'll see how much this makes. And I'm grating it on the short side so that I've got short shreds. If I grate it on the long side, I'll end up with longer shreds. I don't want that, but it doesn't matter if you do it that way. Any of the up-to-date products that you see me making on YouTube, they're all available on the website. If they're not available, then they're sold out. And obviously we just keep moving on to different versions now. I used to stick to the same products because my wholesale clients wanted that. But I've always known that it's important to change up what you're doing. Maybe keep a core range that people absolutely adore and can't live without. The ones that sell the best, basically. And then just change everything around it. It's like any store you go into, every time you go in, it looks different, doesn't it? So that slice has given me tons of shreds. And it's got every colour that I could possibly want. If you've got any chunks like this, either grate them or throw them away if you can't grate them. Because I don't want big lumps of colour in the soap. Try not to cut yourself if you're doing this. I just want to mention, which is obvious to most people, if you're going to make any soap, please check out all the safety information on making soap. You know, that's up to you. It's the same whether you're watching a cooking video or anything. Everybody knows there's a certain amount of safety involved, and most people have got plenty of common sense. I think we've got enough here. If I split, because I'm going to need 4 lots. So if I just split that into quarters, I think that might be enough. Because I have put too many in before, and when I made the soap it just all broke up. That was a long time ago though. Right, we just need to spray this with some rubbing alcohol and then get your oils measured out and make up your soap batter. So I use these paint scrapers all the time, or paper scrapers. They're brilliant for just scraping any little odd bits like this. So we're just splitting that up into quarters. I know I did it with my fingers before, but I did something else and that I needed to redo it. So I'm just going to move them onto their piles over here. But the first two piles I'm going to keep right next to me because we're going to be using those straight away. So I've worked out the total yield for my batch is about 4.8 kilos. So I've divided that by 3 and I need about 1.6 kilos of soap for the first layer, and you'll find out why I've divided it into 3 a little bit later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate off, do you know, it's not what I'm going to do. I have a feeling my middle layer needs to be thicker than the other layers. So I'm actually going to do 1.5 kilos in that jug. And then the same in this jug. And I'm going to pop that to one side just for a second. And I want some yellow pigment, which is up here. I've just rebottled these, that's why they're nice and clean. There we are. And this is obviously going to be for the custard. So the fragrance we're going to use today is from Gracefruit and it's called Blue Angel. It's not blue like Blue Angel, like Angel Thierry Mugler perfume Angel. It's not that. I did buy it thinking it would be that, but it isn't. It's a molten brown fragrance, so it's very similar to the vitamin E fragrance that they do. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want this to be very yellow. I just want it to look like custard. So I'm going to put a bit, oh hang on a minute, that's fluorescent yellow. I wonder if I've run out. It looks like I've run out of that colour. So, oh, I don't know whether to use the fluorescent. I must have some yellow. No, I'm going to have to use the fluorescent, so I'm going to try and put just the tiniest amount in there. Probably 1/10 of a teaspoonful. Yeah, that'll be okay. And then do the same with the other one. If they're not similar enough, then you can mix the two together. Probably turn out better anyway. It's simply because I'm trying to create a custard fragrance, no, a custard colour. Okay, so only in one of the jugs do you put your fragrance in. So I'm going to put that to the back because that is going to go on the top. I'm going to have a layer of custard, then a rainbow, and then another layer of custard. It's a nice clean fragrance, this. It's definitely bergamot-y and slightly masculine, but it doesn't say exactly which Morton Brown soap it's a copy of. So once you've put your fragrance in, you need to know exactly how much you've got, and I have got here nearly, I think that's 1.6. Nearly 1.6 kilos. Now what I want to do, because it's 1.6, I want to pour 800 into one container and 800 into the other container. I'm actually just going to try half of these shreds as well. I would have needed to put both of these in here, but I don't want to end up with too many, so I'm actually just going to put half of them in there. So that's a quarter into your custard, a quarter of your shreds. Now give those a mix in, and to split them up, use a whisk. Just give it a whisk like that, and that'll break all of the shreds up. Right, so now the shreds are in. Yeah, it's 1.6. So give it a mix, and then you want to pour straight after you've mixed it, just so the shreds don't fall to the bottom of the jug. I'm not going to pour it all in. I'm going to check, because I want it to be perfectly at 800. And it's nearly there. And do that just by scraping around the edge, just a tiny little bit more, and then pour the rest into your container, into your mould, into the other mould. So obviously we're going to need that to set. And once it's thick enough to set, we'll start with the rainbow part. So you can see all the shreds in there. And they're floating nicely, so they're nicely suspended in the soap. Okay, so you can see that the soap is not wobbling at all. It's ready to pour the next layer on. And the next layer is going to be hot pink. And I've got 400 mils of soap batter poured into this jug. I'm going to put 20 mils of fragrance in there, and then give it a good blend with the blender. Now, I had a look on the Molten Brown website and I read the fragrance description, and I think this Blue Angel is a copy of the orange and bergamot fragrance that Molten Brown do. It's the nearest one I could find. Right, so because we have 400 mils in here, I'm going to pour 200 on each soap. So what I need to do is gently pour it like this. Across one side, and I'm just going to check on the side of the container. We're not down to 200 yet, so I can put some more in there. Obviously you need to put it on the worktop really, so it's still a little bit over, and then pour the rest on this side. Give that a tap. Try not to touch it with your spoon because it'll spoil the smoothness of the layer. So we'll just rinse off the jug and the container and the blender, and we'll wait for that layer to set, and then we'll come and do the next layer. So the next colour we're going to do is turquoise, and I'm using 74180 here, and this is a water colour, but it does work very well in cold process. Again, we'll put exactly the same amount of fragrance in here, about 20 mils. You must make sure that your first layer is set. I'll move the spoon because it's not set. So if you tap it down, then that way again it just levels out. Okay, so our next colour is yellow. And it's going to be obviously brighter. It does smell really unique, this fragrance. If you're not, I'm sure everyone will be familiar with Morton Brown. They do lots of shower gels and things like that. So now the next one will be the green. Okay, so the soap's starting to thicken up now, because obviously you've got to leave each layer to thicken, and then the soap you want to pour on the top gets a little bit too thick, makes it harder to work with. So you're better off with a much quicker moving fragrance, because the layers set up so much faster. The soap that's in the pan is still okay. I think it's quite good to leave it in the pan, because when you put it in a smaller container it gets thick in the centre a lot quicker than it would if you leave it in the pan. So just do that if you're going to be making any. Now then, which soap needs a bit more soap in it? This back one does at this end. And this one does at this end. And I'll put a little bit at this end as well. A tiny bit there. And I'll put the rest in here. It really is just best to tap it, and then you get it smooth. Okay, so what I had left in my cooking pot is in here, and I'm going to need the 4 colours again, but I just need a tiny little bit of each one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a spoonful in each container like this, because all I want this to be is some drizzle on top of the soap. I'll just pop those to one side for a second. The shreds have had a good spray. Now we need to remember how much of the yellow we put in the first layer, and it really was a small amount, so that's exactly what I'm going to put in again. Literally just enough. If you don't want to drizzle colours across the top, you could always just sprinkle your shreds on there, but I'm not going to do that. Give those a stir in. Now don't forget to get your whisk. Just to split up all those embeds. What we're going to do is we're just going to spoon the mixture, because you see it's a lot thicker now, on top of the soap that we've done, the layers. Do the same on this one. Just going to tap that down. I'm going to let what's in the jug thicken up a little bit more, so we can just spoon blobs of this. We can probably do it now actually. Just spoon blobs of it on top of the soap like so. So they're just like little custard sprinkled clouds on the top. It's hard to work out and make sure you've got the same amount for each soap, which I haven't done very well, but it's good enough. Just push those to the back for a second. Bring you over here. Fingers are damp, so I'm struggling to open that. And now we can't forget the pink. I think this hot pink's probably the colour I use more than any other colour. Got these little spoons from Home Bargains. They're really cute. So just give your colour a good stir in. I didn't put any fragrance in, did I need to do that? We're just looking to put a tiny amount of fragrance in. And mix that in as well. It's a beautiful blue actually, this. Again, all the colours are listed in the description box below. So I think we'll start with the yellow first. I'm going to do it with a silicone spoon. Maybe turquoise next. And the turquoise is thickening up a lot more than the other colours. Okay, now for some green. And then to bring all of those beautiful colours together, we go for the pink. And then no drizzle top like that. I don't know, I might just leave it like that. I'm gonna. I was thinking about doing a swirl, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Alrighty, so here's the soap ready to be cut. So I'm just going to trim all of this excess soap off the side where we've made a mess. Where I've made a mess, not we. It's just me here. It actually, the smell, it's more like an essential oil blend. It is very interesting. You see those lovely bright colours are still there. Alright, so let's get these out of the mould. What I love about these moulds, they are so simple to do. And we can see that the rainbow is definitely there. The custard colour is not quite as custardy as I would have liked, but that's okay. It's actually 2 days since I made this. I was out yesterday, so I didn't get it cut yesterday, so it's firmer today, but it'll still cut fine. So we're going to cut those in half because they don't fit on this slab cutter. So the length I need is 22.25. That's right in about the middle. No, it's not. 21.25 it must be. Yeah. I won't mark the other one because I'll just use this one as a guide. And there we are. It looks, I mean, I guess more like a cake batter than custard, but I'll still call it custard. The lines are not as perfect as I would have liked, but that's okay as well. So that's the thing for me, cutting with a knife, you've got to scrape the soap, where you don't need to do that when you're using a wire cutter. I mean, I think people like to see the soap cut with a knife, and I do too. I like the sound of it and everything. But it's just so much neater with the wire. So it's looking good so far. Right, let's get this on there. Just needs tightening up a bit. It's just like a guitar string, so you can hear when it's tight because the pitch is higher. And there you go. That's our first slice. Do you like it? I like it. Not as perfect as I would have liked it. But it would have worked better with a faster moving fragrance actually. These lines would have been so much neater if we had a speedy fragrance. Not a seizing fragrance, but a speeding one. Well, we've got this Brexit thing coming up at the end of March, and I'm not sure how much it's going to impact us, if it will at all. I mean, there's a lot of scaremongering going on. The top's nice, isn't it? There's a lot of scaremongering going on, and I'm hoping it's just that. They're talking about struggling to get things over at the borders and a lot of hold-ups and this and that. But I'm hoping it's not actually going to happen the way they're saying it's going to happen. But if you're wanting to place an order, we have plenty of time actually. But the date of the breakfast changeover is the 29th of March. So wherever you are in the world, if you want to get those orders in good time, I mean, hopefully, as I said, it'll be fine. A lot of scaremongering for nothing, probably. forgetting to show you them as I cut them, aren't I? But Lord knows what is ahead of us in these coming years. The world's definitely changing a lot. So I have prepped a little bit for this Brexit thing. Make sure we've got plenty rice in, plenty of pasta. Actually, lots of sauces and flavourings we've got in the cupboard. Now this is a lot neater, this bar than the other one. I'm very, very happy with that. Very happy. It's not perfect, but I'm loving it. The smell is really quite unique and interesting. I should look up the fragrance and see what the percentage of essential oils is. So we've got some leftovers, and now I'll cut those into usable sizes for samples. But the one thing I am a bit miffed about is that we're coming out of breakfast. We're Brexiting, we're coming out of Europe, and one of my soap making friends was telling me that the laws, the regs and rules and regs are going to be probably just the same as what we've got. So for us, that's going to be coming out of breakfast. For us coming out of Brexit, there's no benefit whatsoever. I thought they might rewrite all the rules and regs. Obviously they can't do everything overnight, but I'm hoping in the future they do change the rules and regs and come up with our own rules and regulations for making bath and body products, because what is the point of coming out if it's not going to change? The whole point of coming out is so we make a change and we come up with all our own regulations and rules and laws. But maybe that'll come at a later date. I'm hoping so. I don't just want to end up with all the bad things that go along with coming out of the EU. I know it is going to be difficult for quite some time, naturally, but the whole point is to make things better, isn't it? Could everything possibly be worse later on? I guess we'll find out as time goes on. That is so sweet, isn't it? It's so sweet. There's your close-up. Now we're coming up to the end of the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share if you want to. Also click the notification bell, which pops up next to the subscribe button after you've subscribed, and also the pop-ups on screen will lead you to another video and to subscribe. Here at YouTube, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. I try to get a photograph up there most days, and I'll see you all again very, very soon for another lovely video from Eden's Secret. Bye bye for now, everyone.